Well, it's not the smoothest lift I've ever been in, but I suppose you have to expect a bumpy ride when you're heading for the centre of the Earth. Oh, hello everyone. Well, we've got some very exciting news today. The Randomiser's been stolen. What's that, Marina? Oh, sad news. Yes, terribly sad. Anyway, luckily Brains thought to build a homing device into the machine, so we followed that under the sea, and now we're in a lift heading towards the bottom of a dormant volcano. I think we've actually gone beneath the Earth's crust. Oh, this must be our floor. Hello.
Welcome to Voltana, Terranians.
Oh, hello there. Who are you?
My name is Torata. This is Fragile.
Oh, what, like Fraggle Rock?
No, not like Fraggle Rock. Anyway, we are the sole survivors of Centralius, the mighty civilization that has lived under the earth for thousands of years.
Alas, this room is the only part of our dynamic city left, for a great disaster has struck.
Yes. As you can see from this diagram we conveniently had prepared, our city was built in the shaft of the dormant volcano. However, the Doozers accidentally awakened the volcano with their construction work, and it flooded our city.
The Doozers?
Yes.
But it's not like Fraggle Rock?
No.
Okay.
We managed to secure and seal the protecting door. If you listen carefully, you can hear the fury of the volcano.
Yes, that does sound very angry, but I still don't understand why you needed the randomizer.
We used our electronic suction apparatus to draw in the first craft. Like you, we cannot breathe in water. We needed a craft to reach the terrain.
Alas, the machine we chose was full of computer banks. There was no room for us. Oh, but there was this piece of paper too.
Oh, that'll be this week's episode selection. Let's see. Oh, that's not too bad. So you'd like us to take you back to the surface, I suppose? Hey, where'd they go? Oh dear.
We will take your breathing apparatus and escape to the surface. So long, suckers!
Yes.
Well, Marina, I guess the only thing we can really do is watch this week's episode and then hope that by next week we suddenly find ourselves in a radically different situation with no explanation at all as to how we escaped from this one. Does that sound good to you? No? Me neither. But unfortunately, it's all we've got. Anyway, here's new Captain Scarlet with Shapeshifter. So here we are again at the back end of the second season, or new Captain Scarlet, and I do hope that we can get some more from the first season soon, because I don't want to use up all these later, much better episodes before we've got some of my lesser favourites out of the way. This is, to my memory, not one of the greatest from the end of the run. It's certainly quite imaginative. We start off with, I'm presuming, 2 Mysteron agents sneaking into, I think it's some kind of power complex, or it could be a lab. Getting past the red security beams by just clinging to the ceiling and doing a bit of gymnastics. Oh! They've got into this big secret lab room thing. They swiped a card through the reader. It looked for a moment like that had Destiny's face on it, which I'm going to have to go back and check. If that was Destiny, then she's in league with these Mysterons. Or did she? Is that a reuse of a card that the woman who was impersonating her back in the episode with the other Destiny?
I'm from the power company.
Skin Deep, that's the one.
I've come to cut you off.
There we go. Scarlet's here. He's making his rubbish jokes. And I really like. I always really like Crispin Merrill's music. There's a bit of sort of GoldenEye flavour to this score. Anyway, one of these Mysterons has led Scarlet down a tunnel with sort of glowing golden things. And he hit one of them. Some golden gas. Scarlet's not afraid of some golden gas, though. He's going to run straight through that. Because, you know, what's the worst that could happen? It could be toxic. Well, Mysteron's gone down the sewer. Which makes me wonder why the Mysterons didn't just enter the power complex through the sewer to begin with, if they knew it was there. Save them the trouble of gymnasticking over the security lights. And this is the episode where I think I mentioned it previously when I was asking how the original series Spectrum Caps know how to make a call. Here Scarlet just says night vision and the night vision lens comes down. That makes so much sense. That it's that the operation of the cap is dependent on what the agent says. Although it doesn't help Scarlet much. Oh. Mysteron just appeared out of nowhere, grabbed him, and Scarlet just shot him.
Scarlet, report.
The particle collider is safe.
Hooray!
So is Louisiana.
Yay!
What about the Mysteron replicants?
Boo!
I flushed them out.
Oh. And we're just gonna let the sewers take those alien bodies away. And the Mysterons don't care. They've got far more important things to do. Having a go at this gas. And what could be coming out of the gas towards Scarlet? There's another Scarlet. Killed our regular Scarlet. And again, I have to ask, why Spectrum body armor doesn't stand up to Spectrum weapons? Because it happened before in, I think, Dominion. Captain Oka was taken out by the stun charge of Scarlet's pistol, and now this new Mysteron Scarlet has taken out the original. I mean, I get that the weapons would have to be powerful, but I would also think that the armor would have to be powerful too.
Scarlet to Skybase.
I don't know.
I'll rendezvous with the Swift in 20 minutes.
SIG, Captain.
And our dead Scarlet's going to be eaten by Croc. Which is a pretty... I really like the CGI animals in this show. The humans weren't always good, but that Croc was quite good.
What have we got?
A lot of blood in the water there after he was killed. But yeah, every week, certainly in the second half of the series, it was like, what CGI animal are we going to have this week? There was like a toucan, I think, in... an eagle and a rat.
Captain? The DNA test, sir?
Oh, sure, Wheatley.
Good old Wheatley. He's the guy who checks people in when they return to Cloudbase. Skybase, even.
Good to know I'm still one of the good guys. Thanks, Wheatley.
So, this new Scarlet passed the DNA check. But he also touched Wheatley. And is now able to turn into him. Despite the fact that he only touched Wheatley's shoulder, which wasn't
I didn't know you were back.
there. I mean, he just touched his
The
uniform.
observation deck. Want to join me?
Thanks, but I should turn in. But you're looking very pretty tonight.
Your hands are cold.
Like I said, I should turn in.
So the shapeshifter thingy has now taken Destiny's DNA as well. Yep, that all works for him. And again, I think this is something that the puppet show could probably have done, but not as well as the CGI show. This character who can just quickly change from one to another.
And this sure is a pretty gun. Do we have to sell it, Eli?
What in blue thunder did you do with the brains Mama gave you, Zachary? Sure, we're gonna sell it.
And I really like this subplot. These two hicks who find the real Scarlet's body.
He's one of them Spectrum fellers. Super military, you know what I'm saying?
Ah, so the public know about Spectrum.
Like somebody's gonna come looking for him.
At least in this world. I was never clear about that in the original. Oh, don't do that.
Don't you remember nothing your mama taught you? Mutilating a man's a sin. How's he...
Again, that's quite a strange... Oh my god, they've got a hockey mask hanging from the wall. Okay. We're going full Texas Chainsaw Massacre with these two then, because that guy was about to chop Scarlet's arm off with a little pickaxe.
Come on, we'll give him a proper burial in the morning. Somewhere no one will ever find him.
Oh, well, at least they're going to bury him. They saved him from the alligator. Oh, and a lovely shot of the underside of Skybase panning in towards the gym where Captain Blue and Colonel White A little session. And here comes Scarlet.
Scarlet, good morning.
Uh-oh.
Paul, no!
Colonel takes an eternity to work out that Scarlet's pointing a gun at him.
Security to the gym, on the double.
Oh, and that's it. Hit the window. Bit of an explosive decompression. Blue and white have grabbed onto things, but the Scarlet thing... Well, I don't know. He's been sucked outside. But as we'll see in a moment, he survives.
This is a day I've long feared, and hoped against hope would never come.
The Mysterons have taken control of Scarlet again. But not even he could survive a fall of 60,000 feet.
Well, we see that the Mysteron thing is sort of just stuck to the outside of Skybase. I don't understand
Sold your kid.
how he didn't fall, because there was nothing below the gym, but he didn't. He's all right.
You won't be needing them none. And we ask you to make sure we get a good price for him and all. Amen.
So they're burying Scarlet.
You finish off here, brother. Conversing with the Lord always gives me a thirst.
So presumably he's going to go off and... Oh no, he's having a bottle of Coke. I was going to say he was going to go off and get drunk, but it looks like he's just having a bottle of Coke. And Scarlet's awake.
Zombie! Zombie! Zombie!
Yeah, and there's a word you don't hear.
The Lord moves in mysterious ways.
There's a word you don't hear in Captain Scarlet all that much, considering the fact that it is basically a sort of zombie setup or body snatcher setup. Anyway, Scarlet's up and about, off to get a rhino out of this big water tower. And the exchange between Colonel White and Captain Blue in the previous scene...
Colonel, I'm picking up a concealed rhino activation.
...is one of my main problems with this episode.
Electronic signature.
Scarlet's still alive.
And we get a bit more of that here.
What is it, Scarlet?
Colonel, there's something on the loose that looks like me. Some kind of replicant.
A replicant?
It was at the Laroux Foundation. Came out of a cloud of gas.
I wish there was a chance, Colonel, but the DNA test when Scarlet came aboard was positive. It was Scarlet, no one and nothing else.
If only we could believe you, Scarlet. But now you belong to the Mysterons again.
No!
You tried to kill me.
This, I think, comes too late in the series
We could take that chance.
for it to be credible.
Aye, Scarlet.
But Colonel, it wasn't...
If this had been like episode 5 or 6, then I could buy the fact that they would say, oh, Scarlet's fallen back under Mysteron control, as we all knew he would do.
Going to do this? It isn't Paul down there.
But the fact that we're 20-odd episodes in and Scarlet has done so much for every single one of these people... You know, I can accept that they would still have suspicions, but the fact that they all turn against him instantly and don't even entertain the fact that he might be telling the truth, because they've all seen some very strange things up to this point. No, we're just going to kill him. It just doesn't sit right with me, and it makes me question the rest of the series when, you know, to what extent these people can really consider Scarlet a friend, if they've apparently been thinking all this time that he might just, you know, become an alien killing machine again. I don't know. I may be alone in this. If I'm not, please let me know. But I just can't. I can't fit this episode so late in the series because of that, you know, that instant acceptance that Scarlet's betrayed them. It just doesn't feel right. Earlier in the series, fine, but not here. Anyway, the Angels have shot Scarlet's rhino off the bridge into the water.
Captain, I want you to take a team and scour that reservoir. Scarlet cannot be allowed to escape.
Yes, sir.
I don't like this any more than you. He was a good friend, but now he's gone. Remember that.
Sir.
No, you can't just dismiss the possibility that he was telling the truth. I mean, if he was... Why would he... If he wasn't telling the truth, why would he phone up and say, hey, there's this thing on the loose that looks like me, you should probably keep an eye out for it?
Got away, but I don't know how to feel.
I know. I can't help it, but part of me's pleased.
Well, don't be. It wasn't Scarlet that got away. It was a Mysteron. I'll be in my quarters.
Yeah, well, we won't be looking for you. A full-scale search for Scarlet's in operation, and I love this shot.
The divers found the rhino here.
If he got out of the water, we'll find tracks.
I don't know what it is, just the fact of the sight of blue ochre, magenta, and grey all together.
What is it?
It just feels so...
When I had him on the floor.
Comfortably old school, is all I can say for that.
What didn't? He was so cold.
What are you saying?
What if Scarlet was telling the truth?
What? The guy who's our friend and who's saved us all on multiple occasions? He might be telling the truth. Well, you know, we can explore this possibility. You know, if you want to be really crazy about it.
Is this something to do with those terrorists last night?
In a way. I want to know what you're using that yellow gas for in those storage tanks.
Oh, you don't want to... Oh, there it is! There it is! Lieutenant Green will reading Milk Float Weekly, her favourite magazine.
Hi, Destiny.
Which I used... I put a shot of the real Green... not the real Green, the Super Marionation Green, the original Green, reading in one of my Scarlet mashup videos. Anyway... Shapeshifter Destiny has now taken the form of Lieutenant Green.
And atoms can't be destroyed. They simply become something else. There are atoms within all of us that once belonged to the stars and to other people. Do you know it's said that all of us have 1 billion or so atoms that were once part of William Shakespeare?
Fascinating, Professor, but...
I love this show's approach to sneaking in tiny little sort of... I wouldn't say that was educational, but just sort of, you know, it's a fun fact for you.
Going on for years. One day we'll be able to take a tank of gas like that, input the atomic code of anything from a ham sandwich to a sports convertible, and voila!
One day? What about now?
Well, we couldn't make the ham, never mind the sandwich.
So you couldn't say...
And I'm very hungry.
Technology like that is generations away.
But the Mysterons have it. Come on, Paul. Let's go teach him a lesson in physics.
So Blue believes him now, suddenly.
The Mysterons used Raynaud's gas.
And created another Scarlet programmed to kill. Blue to Skybase, come in.
Go ahead, Captain Blue.
Scarlet was telling the truth. I have to speak to the Colonel.
Sorry, Captain. Can't let you do that.
Ooh.
What the hell is going on? Skybase, this is Blue. Come in, Skybase. It's dead. And what's gotten into Green?
And where are Ochre, Magenta, and Grey? I left them at the bridge, and now they're not here.
Comes into contact with. Remember, matter can't be destroyed, but it can change.
So how the hell do we kill it?
Lieutenant...
That's Captain Blue's main question for anything. How do we kill it?
I'm trying to fix it.
Well, do it quickly.
Oh, and the Colonel touched Green. Although, he only touched her shoulder. Which I suppose actually makes sense. If he touches... If the uniform is part of the shapeshifter's makeup, then it makes sense that the shapeshifter can take White's DNA from his hand touching her uniform. But it still doesn't explain how the shapeshifter took Wheatley's DNA from just touching his uniform. If that makes sense. Anyway, the Colonel, or Shapeshifter Colonel, has now taken over engineering.
Engineering. Why are we altering course? Because Skybase is going to crash, Colonel.
Oh, that's very cool.
Right on top of Houston.
No. And for once, the Lieutenant Green's screen does not have the words engineering emergency flashing on it like it so often did in the background.
Relevant. We have 20 minutes before Skybase...
And for once, we do actually have an engineering emergency.
It's okay, Destiny.
I know. Something that looked like me attacked Serena.
And took her shape as well, I think. Are you fit?
It could just be you in a mood again.
Then signal all personnel to evacuate.
You're going to abandon Skybase?
The engineering doors are blast-proof, and whatever's in there is closed off the air ducts. We can't get in to stop it.
There might be a way, Colonel.
Are you going to tell Houston that you're about to fall on top of them?
Personnel, evacuate Skybase. All personnel, evacuate.
And again, this may just be me.
Not a drill.
I am a real sucker for evacuation scenes in shows. I don't know why, I just like seeing extras running around and stock footage of the vehicles taking off.
Other personnel to the Alpha.
It happened in Space 1999 a couple of times. It happens in UFO, I think. The final episode of The Prisoner is another good one. Again, I don't know why, I just like sort of those evacuate the ship or the base scenes. Yeah, lots of vehicles taking off. Yeah, more vehicles, stock footage everywhere. Love it. I couldn't describe why I like evacuation scenes, even if you paid me.
Scarlet has 7 minutes. There won't be time to get clear.
I understand, sir. But I'm staying.
Yeah.
Scarlet won't fail.
Oh, and Green would never abandon Colonel White no matter what. Oh, love these shots as well of Skybase descending from the clouds. And it's always nice when, occasionally in the Super Mario Nation and CGI shows, when you realise how vulnerable this essentially floating base in the sky is. You know, disappearing beneath the clouds.
It's time to split a few atoms.
Ooh.
I'm pure atomic matter. You can't destroy that. I don't need to destroy...
All the characters in this show have been to Quip School. I think Scarlet spent about 10 years there. Oh, and this is good. The shapeshifter Scarlet has grown himself a solid metal arm. And again, this is the kind of story where I wish the episodes were a bit longer. Because this idea of the shapeshifter could easily have been a two-parter. Would have given the story a bit more time to breathe. But as it's not perfect anyway, I suppose we're better off with what we've got here. Oh, that's it. Scarlet's knocked the replicant thingy into the generators. 10 seconds to impact. Oh, they're almost touching the skyscrapers, and now the engines are back on.
Control.
Good old Scarlet. And the city, for considering we don't...
How did you destroy it, Scarlet?
...see all that much of it, looks pretty good.
Oh, but you can change it into energy. You could say I've left it charging our batteries.
So that was Shapeshifter. Not one of my favourites. I think that whole Scarlet's betrayed us, as I always knew he would do, is just so difficult for me to take so late in the series. But despite that, some interesting character stuff with the two Hicks who find Scarlet, and the shapeshifter idea is really strong. I kind of wish we had more time with it, but then that sums up New Captain Scarlet as a whole. I wish we had so much more time with this show.